Nancy Pelosi famously once said over 2 weeks ago that a deal was imminent. Then days later, she said it's very imminent. Then yesterday, she's making progress. Then today, she says it's really close to a deal. Uh, Mark Meadows came out minutes ago and said, "Stop this, Nancy. We're miles apart. I mean, the deal items are just very, very far apart. Why does she keep on saying this?" The question is Nancy Pelosi trying to play a game that makes it look like she's really working hard for the American people when, in fact, the deal items are very far apart? And have we been led on to believe the negotiations are so really close and really at the very end when they actually are much the same as they've been since July? This is a bombshell, and of course, this is also Pelosi versus MNUCHIN. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Pelosi versus MNUCHIN, and a bombshell in which we actually now see a little bit of disparity and disputing of Nancy Pelosi's own words. After weeks of saying things were imminent, then not imminent, then very close, then close. And finally, we heard from Mark Meadows, who is up to date and part of the negotiation team, saying, why does she keep on saying everything is so close? They're not close. She's playing around with words, and the numbers are fundamentally quite far apart still. This is from the person who 24 hours ago announced 1.9 as a deal offer against a $2.2 trillion offer and said it was not close enough. Go to the front of this channel, subscribe. Subscribe because we're trying to get through this together, and in a day in which there's a lot of fake narratives, it's important you stay with me for the true narrative and the true facts. Also, like this video. In this video, I will be going over the comments by Mark Meadows made minutes ago at about 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles, in which he slammed Nancy Pelosi's comments about 2 hours earlier and why the situation is so screwy. Let me recap where we are today. There's a reason why I record so much of the day, because it literally changes by the minute. Nancy Pelosi started the day on early mornings LALATE with a deadline that said, do a stimulus deal by the end of the day, or there will be no deal before election. Those are exact words. Everyone understood her words. The words were quoted everywhere. Everyone understood her words. Well, by the middle of the day, she said, incredible progress is now being reached on a lot of really great stuff. And suddenly, we're making incredible movement and a deal's close. Oh, and by the way, there was no deadline by today. That was just a deadline to talk. No, it wasn't. That's not what you said. Do you even know what you say anymore, honey? This is like, does Wolf Blitzer need to shout your lines back at you? So now there is no deadline. Note to self, there is no deadline anymore, like there really was a deadline in the first place. And second, are they really close? And what have they done since Friday? By all accounts, the accounts are me. By me counting all the accounts, they have done nothing since Friday. On Friday, Steve Mnuchin says Nancy Pelosi's giving an overblown analysis of testing, tracing, vaccine. When asked Steve Mnuchin, well, Nancy Pelosi says you're not agreeing to testing, tracing. He says, I'm going to call up Speaker Pelosi by the end of today and tell her I will give her exactly what she wants for testing, tracing. I'll also give her all the language she wants for testing, tracing. That was Friday. So then on Saturday, she said he changed a few words. It was like from R to U or Q to Z. And so he's not crushing the virus, and children going hungry, and America's dying, and I don't like your language. So from Saturday to today, she's been working on the language of testing, tracing, and vaccine. She's not been focusing on giving you multiple stimulus checks. She's not been focusing on giving you FPUC more retroactive. She's not been focusing on giving you hazard pay. She's not been focusing on giving you anything you deserve. She's focusing on some language. Well, by the end of today, middle of today, she said, guess what? We made progress. We have agreement on language. That's no progress, honey. It makes me want to sneeze because it's like, I'm almost allergic to her at this point. It's just, Are you allergic to her too? I think she makes everyone sneeze. So the net result is that there has been no progress, claims Mark Meadows in the most recent statement to press minutes ago. Mark Meadows, who has this nice little thing going on with Nancy, I don't know what it is. She can't stand him, and he just sort of like, whenever he can just sort of push, he just pushes real well. He's like, I heard that comment by Nancy earlier today. We're still substantially far apart on many lead issues. It's just like, okay, Nancy, poof. Everything you said today just sort of went away because Mark Meadows says you're absolutely untrue. And ironically, he's not the first one to say this to you. Mark Meadows, who has said in the last 24 hours, finish line. He's also said her way or the highway. And he's also worn a purple tie in the last 2 weeks. He clearly is watching this channel. Hi, Mark. Is that that there remains a major issue of contention. And I don't know why she thinks we wouldn't see the major issue of contention, which is state and local. State and local. As we sit here today, we're wondering, where's our multiple stimulus checks? Multiple stimulus checks. You're owed a check for every month that you're in this pandemic since it started. $2,000 since the pandemic started for 6 months at least, or until unemployment goes down or the pandemic improves. And guess what? She has the audacity to say, I'll give you a little $500 check to tide you over for the next 8 months, for the last 8 months. You saw a pandemic hit in March? Oh, I'm sorry. So here's $500 for you to cover you from now to Inauguration Day, and enjoy the $500, and you won't go hungry. Where does $500 keep people from going hungry from March to January of the next year? I don't know any place in the first world country in the last 200 years, well, maybe 100 years. Maybe $500 was enough about 100 years ago, but not this century. It's truly ridiculous. And what's ridiculous is that she thinks that Purple Power is, one, going to buy into this thing where she never tells you numbers. She never tells you what the current deal offers are. She never tells you what the current stimulus check is. She never tells you what the current FPUC is. Two, that we're going to sort of roll over and accept whatever she and Steve actually do. I'll give you more salary raises. Okay, give him more salary raises. No, I want salary raises over there. And then they debut the bill. Here's the bill. It's like, oh, it's like, wait a second. What's for us? It's just a lot of salary raises. No, we crushed the virus with some salary raises. No, you didn't. These are salary raises. Ultimately, if she does that, which I think she will do, opinion, are we going to sit around and be pushed over? No. Will we be pushed over after the election if she does that? No. Will we do that if, the Senate goes Democratic and the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the presidency? Are we going to roll over? No, because Purple Power doesn't roll over. Because ultimately you are owed this money. When the first pandemic hit, Kamala Harris said, hey, $2,000 from 1 month is not enough. $1,200 is not enough. But $2,000 is not enough. So Senator Harris said, hey, we need multiple stimulus checks every month. And we won't stop paying stimulus checks until unemployment goes down or the pandemic goes away. It's like, did you look? Did you notice? The pandemic has not gone away. And unemployment's really, really bad. It's almost as bad as Nancy's hairstyle. The unemployment has not improved one iota. Well, I mean, it's 800,000 new people a week, which is like, congratulations, you're still at the worst unemployment run since the Great Depression every single week. Yeah, it's not improved. So, $2,000 every month, it's been 6 months. Where's my $12,000? And she specifically said in her interviews discussing the situation, why this money was needed. One, she said that 30% of Americans were facing eviction. Two, that 30% of Americans could not pay rent. They didn't have enough money to pay rent because they'd been laid off. Three, she said that this is not enough money to survive on anything in any place in this country for more than a few days. So now we're 6 months later, and guess what 6 months from today's date into the future is? About 2 months after inauguration, when you would see a next stimulus package land the money in your bank account. You're supposed to wait around for 12 months to get stimulus. It ain't going to cut it. And so when we sit here to talk about Pelosi versus Mnuchin, the important thing to understand is that Mnuchin and Pelosi may be negotiating for someone, but are they negotiating for you? Are they negotiating for big business, to give big business a lot of money in airlines and hospitality, but giving you a $500 stimulus check? Are they negotiating for, Department of Justice to get a nice salary raise, because they're already making what, $120,000 a year, or $300,000 a year. Now they want $400,000 a year as a salary. How much does the Department of Justice want? Oh, and how much does Department of National Parks need? Because national parks outside, they got to redo all the parks for COVID. It's like, what? Why is the national parks getting salary raises in a stimulus package? Are they putting their salaries back into the economy? No, of course not. They're putting it into their 501, in their stock plans. I mean, it's just truly crazy. So as we sit here today, where do we think about where Pelosi versus Mnuchin is going? What do I think? Let's stay with me, because I have a lot of details still coming up. First, where is Pelosi versus Mnuchin by the end of today? By all accounts, Nancy Pelosi says there's no more deadline. Yeah, I just really didn't mean that. Yeah, I may have said that. I was sober when I said that. Yes. I was at the casino, and it was a misquote. As I don't know. Wolf interrupted me. That's why you just didn't hear the whole full quote. Let me figure out an excuse for this. Second, the issue of how long these people are going to negotiate, and will she give a deal, and will he give a deal. Here's my opinion. And I detailed this earlier today when Jennifer asked the question, and it was a really great question. Jennifer said, LALATE, what do you, at that point, we thought it was a deadline. LALATE, what do you think about the deadline? What do you think is going to happen, and do you think they're going to give you a deal? I said the following. I said, one, I don't think Trump is going to sign anything into law. He'll do executive orders. But as to law, I don't think Trump will sign anything into law until after election night. Why? Because what president signs a bill that helps the next president? Have you ever seen someone do that? No. So does Trump want to sign a stimulus package for Biden in the event that Trump loses, so that Biden has a nice stimulus package ready to get the Biden economy going? No, of course not. Would Biden do that for Trump? Absolutely not. So I don't think Trump's going to sign anything. And remember, the president has to sign the thing to become law until after election night. Second, do you think Nancy Pelosi will ultimately do a deal before election night? I have never thought she would. Why would she? Do you give me one reason why Nancy Pelosi should do a deal before election night? I don't see one. She doesn't want Trump to win, so why would she give him a win? Trump thinks that she's not going to give him a deal. Third, what is Nancy really doing with all this stuff every day? This is actually quite brilliant. I'm going to give her big props on this. Somewhere between the problem solvers and today, she realized that there was a very bad backlash against her for looking like she wasn't negotiating, looking like she wasn't moving, looking like she wasn't working, looking like she was just sort of an elder statesman who kept themselves in their office, locked in a room, eating bonbons. And so she said, I think the vision I see, my opinion, is that she said, I need to look more active and work on this a little bit more, so it looks like we're doing something. Ultimately, we may not give her what he wants, but at least we'll look like we're doing something. And that's what she's been doing all 1 hour, 60 minutes every day, which is just like, hey, okay, 60 minutes up. Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow. And then she gives a press release, and then she gives a press statement. You notice all the press statements she talks about, her 60 minutes of work every day? Imagine how many press statements I would have if I described how much work I do in a given day. You'd have enough press statements to go to the moon and back. I mean, she has like 5 press statements for the 60 minutes she works every day. Do you see a trend here? Do you see sort of an image here? Yeah, she really wants to tell you how much she's working on a given day. How many times does Steve Mnuchin issue a press release per day about how much work he's done? Never. When was the last time you got a press release to Steve Mnuchin? 2 weeks ago. So, and he has his own press secretary, by the way, and she's on Twitter. So why does Nancy Pelosi keep on wanting to talk about how much work she's doing? Because of the backlash. Let me answer some incredible Pelosi versus Mnuchin questions from yesterday. Jonathan Holmes, another sunny day in the U.S., and the government still says and send us our money. Madeline, Mr. President, show us you're a leader, not her. Nancy, stop playing games. Jay Marie. Connie, I'm dubbing this the game of elections. Susan, well, let's find out how pissed off Americans are come election day. D. Wade, what happens if there's no deal election executive order tomorrow? The deadline to receive the money before election day is Tuesday evening. I've addressed that question before, and let me do it again. I have talked about the fact that Trump cannot get the physical money in your hands before election day anymore. It's no longer really a possibility. He has lost that opportunity, but I do think there is an incredibly good opportunity to do executive orders and send out the stimulus checks and do a hot dog and pony show. Say, hey, here are the stimulus checks. This is what's going to land in your bank account. It'll land the day after election night, but it'll land there. And thank you, American people, and I saved you. I think he will get the benefit of that. Perhaps not the biggest benefit that he would have had he done the executive orders earlier, but I think he'll get that benefit all the way down to do an executive order the night before the election. Yes. Deborah Wood, karma's hurting. Karma's going to bring Nancy to her knees soon. Alan Hart. It's like Pelosi, Mnuchin, Meadows, Cuddle, and Connell are at a slapping contest. The Marshall, they'll just go blame each other a little bit more. Shovel, people need to get their money. They're starving. Marie Rose. Seriously, all these politicians in the government and Senate need to take a bath in holy water and get the devil out of them. Oh, my God. Thank you, Marie Rose. Lisa Glass. Nancy Pelosi reminds me of Cruella de Vil. Susan. Pelosi and McConnell both need to be gone. Randy Farr. Purple Power will be doing something before the deadline. We never sleep. Wink, wink. I sleep. Justin Ferguson. Let's get this done. Sherry. I thought Nancy said she wants a return response from MNUCHIN within 48 hours. That was yesterday's story she had. Deborah Green. I have a deadline for her. Get our stimulus or you're out, lady. I love that, Deborah Green. Robin Strickland. We all need to move in with her. Teresa. I'm so sad. Linda, Purple Power, Positive Vibes. Tang Tang, the temple shall fall. Christopher, can't stand any of them. Kelly, I'm so sick of politics. Jolly Ray, Crystal Moody, why is she still in office? Jim Batch, it sickens me to know that a few millionaires can control over 360 million lives while they live the good life on our dime. What a great comment, Jim Besh. Deborah Antonello. Nancy, I will take the highway. I think I will have better luck. Steve Eckenberg. She had her chance. Sharon Bohanmer. Hey, Nancy, don't let the door hit you on the way out. That's referring to Nancy slamming the door by tonight. Sharon Hollingsworth, I understand there's a second round of the virus coming from lockdown. No more $12 ice cream. Julianne King, sick of this. Karen, for the people, for the virus, may God lay his healing hands on all of us and you. Very kind message. Thank you for that. Go to the Fun channel, subscribe because we're trying to get through this together, and we will. Purple Power strong. We're motivated, we're focused, and we're dedicated. Also like this video. Coming up next is Evenings LALATE. As detailed in earlier videos today, I'm trying to compress the release times so that the videos on afternoons and evenings LALATE come out a little bit closer in time. So let's see how close I can get them to come out, because it seems like you like that. Today is the first test to really get them coming out closer rather than 30 minutes apart. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay about life for more.